Joe talks about Joe. And now, your host, Joe Slepsky.
Hey, and welcome back to Joe on Joe, the only podcast where we watch every single episode of G.I. Joe, a real American hero, in sequential order, and comment on it mystery science style. It's me, your host, Joe Slepsky, and I'm back for the very first episode of the DIC regular series. We finished Operation Dragonfire, and now we are on to the ongoing day-to-day adventures of G.I. Joe through the lens of Canada. And
God help us.
God help us all, and there is no man that I would want on my side more to help me, to assist me, one might say, to be a special assistant, another might say, than the SAC, the special assistant to Cobra Commander. You know him, you love him, Mr. Paul Galliano. Paul, welcome back to Joe on Joe.
Thanks, Joe. Thanks for having me back, man. The SAC is back.
The SAC is always back. It's funny. It's actually been a few months since I've seen you, I think.
Yeah.
But because we recorded the movie like 2 months before it actually aired.
Right.
It's like you were just on like 4 episodes ago.
Yeah, it feels that way, but
that's not true though, because I haven't seen you in months.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's all the magic of podcasting, everybody.
Actually, my birthday, right?
When was your birthday?
Late October.
I was there. Yeah, that was the last time we
Yeah,
saw you. Yeah,
yeah.
but like on the podcast though, I think the last time we had you on would have been the
Oh
movie.
yeah, it would have been the movie.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I'm glad to be back. That was awesome.
You always throw a good birthday party. Last year it was G.I. Joe themed.
Yep. Well, Cobra theme.
Cobra. Yeah. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to insult.
No,
I didn't mean to
please.
insult. This year was HBO themed.
Yeah,
So
HBO.
everyone came in disguise because it's right around Halloween, right? Like the week
Right.
before
Yeah,
Halloween.
it's a Halloween birthday party combo and different theme every year. So HBO was fun. It gave people lots of room to play with if they didn't want to like go all out with crazy costume. Well, you know what? Just wear a suit and tie, and you're from The Sopranos. That's fine
Do you
too.
remember what I was dressed up as?
You were the 7th background extra from an episode of Real Sex.
You were absolutely correct.
It was brilliant. And it was acceptable, you know?
Yeah, because I had come pretty much straight from work, and I didn't really have a costume together, but I wanted to be at your party, and that was it. That's what it was.
Yeah.
I was a background extra from a random episode of Real Sex.
It was brilliant, and people loved it. And as a matter of fact, if I remember correctly, you got quite a few nominations for Best Costume.
I think I did.
Yeah.
I think I finished high in the standings, but I'm glad it went to someone who actually put effort
Right,
into it.
yeah.
That feels good. I feel like if there was one category of like most inventive BS,
Right, exactly.
into a costume, I would have
yeah.
smoked that category.
Hands down, you owned it.
Yeah, absolutely. So Paul Galliano, if you guys don't know Paul from previous episodes, he is an actor. He's a very talented actor.
Thank you.
You can see him on Amazon on a show called Now What?
That's right.
Which season 2 drops March 2nd.
Yep.
And you were also in season 1.
Yep.
And then you've told me that there's a spin-off show. What's this called?
Yeah.
Falling for Angels?
Yeah,
Tell
Falling
me
for
more
Angels.
about that.
It's also on Amazon, and basically it was the producers of my show. They had this idea for this other show called Falling for Angels, and it centers on each episode, kind of serial style, where it's like each episode, I think it's serial style, is how you say it, but each episode focuses on a different couple in a different part of LA.
Okay.
So it's like, for example, Boyle Heights, and then the next episode is Koreatown.
Okay.
And then there's, Bel Air and so on and so forth. And so that's the focus. But then my episode is the Malibu episode. It's the last one of season 1. And my character is kind of what brings all these characters that you've seen standalone episodes of. Mm-hmm. My character brings them all together in this final episode of the season. Of season 1.
You're having an affair with all of them.
I wish.
In every episode, they're like, "There's this mystery man who's sleeping with someone in this partnership," and they're like, "Oh my God, you're cheating on me." Every episode ends with, "You're cheating on me."
Right? Yeah.
You're cheating on me. You're cheating on me.
You're cheating on me.
You're cheating. And then the final episode, we find out it's just you sitting in a pool,
Yep.
sipping a daiquiri.
Yep. And I take a big sip and I look right into the lens and I say, "They're cheating on you."
Yes, exactly right.
Oh,
that's exactly right.
I wish. No,
you know what? Here's the thing: you can have that idea for free.
You
tell your producers.
Thank you.
Run with that.
Taking it to the
They can
producers,
totally run
and
with that.
I think now they have something for season 2.
Mm-hmm. Finally,
Yeah.
because they're bereft of ideas.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
No, those guys are creative. I mean, it's been a pleasure and honor to work with them. Our producer is Oscar-winning producer.
Love it.
Yeah, they did Gods and Monsters.
Yeah,
Ian
it's
McKellen
great.
and Brendan
It's a great
Fraser.
movie,
So,
sure.
Yeah, they won an Oscar for that. Our production team. So it's been fantastic. Just the experience and knowledge they have, and
I love it. I really enjoy seeing you have such success, and
Thanks, man.
every time I turn around, you're doing something creative primarily in the acting realm.
Absolutely.
Most recently, we were watching your Princess Bride video.
Yep.
So you go to Facebook, find Paul. His handle online on Twitter and Instagram is the Paul G, and on Facebook you go to Facebook/Paul Galliano.
The Paul Galliano.
The Paul Galliano.
Yes, the full last name on Facebook.
Yeah, Galliano, Galliano.
You got it.
And check out his video section. He's got a wonderfully edited. It's actually very much like what they do at the beginning of the Oscars, where they take an actor and they edit them into an existing film, existing scenes from a movie. So you've got two videos up there.
Yeah.
One is the Princess Bride, which just dropped for Valentine's Day, and it's delightfully funny.
Thank you.
You play the part of Dread Pirate Roberts.
Yep.
And it's during the conversation with Buttercup, which in the movie ends with her pushing Dread Pirate down the hill and whatever. And it's so your take on that conversation, very funny.
Thank you, sir.
And the other one, which actually I actually like the Halloween one better. I think the Halloween one's stupid.
It's a little it's
a little
zanier for sure. Yeah, it's a little more silly.
The Halloween one is you cut into the film Halloween, and the boyfriend the boyfriend in the original Halloween movie was named Paul.
He was, yeah.
So when Laurie Strode's girlfriend, who I forget what her name is, Candy, Cindy, Annie,
yes, yeah.
When Laurie Strode's friend Annie is like calling for her boyfriend, she's like, "Oh, it's Paul."
Yeah, and then it's me.
It cuts to you on the other line, like on a phone, calling the house, and you're not just doing a Southern drawl. You're doing like
so it's
deep South, like
okay. So when it cuts to the other side of the phone call, yes, it's me there being Paul, but it's some kind of version of me because it's not really me. I'm doing this voice. People are like, "Where did you come up with that voice and what's going on?" And I'm like, "I don't know. It just struck me as funny to be this combination of like half Foghorn Leghorn and half Bernie Mac," and that's how it came out, and people just love the ridiculousness of it.
It's delightful. It
Thank
really
you.
is.
Thank you.
Trying to Halloween.
Yeah, I'm trying to Halloween over here. But you know what? While we're on the subject of these two videos, I have to give a shout out to my buddy Barry Battles and thank him because he, they would not be possible without him. His depth of knowledge of, film and camera movement and editing and everything has been a huge factor in helping me make those videos look good and be successful.
Yeah,
so.
and Joe and Joe listeners, Barry Battles. He's been a guest on the show. He's the director of the Baytown Outlaws.
Yeah,
Baytown Outlaws. Baytown Outlaws, right?
Yeah.
Which you're in a TV monitor in the back of a bar, which is really funny.
Sporting a mustache.
Yeah, and Baytown Outlaws is a wonderful film if you like high octane Southern crime.
Yep.
I feel like your telephone guy would have been perfect in Baytown Outlaws.
Oh, he'd have
he was like
in
a
that
second cousin of one of those dudes.
Yeah. And actually, that's exactly what it is. High octane. You say all that. Like I think the tagline for the movie when it came out was a Southern whoop-ass extravaganza.
Yeah, it's pretty accurate.
Yeah. And that's exactly what it is.
Pretty accurate. Well, Paul, you're a massive G.I. Joe fan.
Huge.
So I love having you on there. Today you're wearing a Cobra shirt. And it's the design. What was the artist's name?
Patrick Nagel.
Yeah, like those. Yeah, like the Nagel designs from the '80s. Where it's like on the side of every hair salon in South Side of Chicago ever.
Yeah. It's got the pretty girl.
And it's the Baroness in the Patrick Nagel design. It's a cool shirt, man.
Yeah, it's really cool. And for me, this was like the holy grail of T-shirts, of Joe T-shirts.
Yeah, and you got that from a buddy of yours?
Yeah, my buddy.
Give him a shout out.
Yeah, thanks, Clinton Kyles. Thank you so much for passing this on to me after you were finished with it. Because I tried to buy it off of him for many years. And he was just like, I don't know. And then finally he was just like, hey, you know what? I'm not going to wear this anymore. Just, do you want it? And I was like, yeah.
That's fantastic. Clinton, thank you so much. I also want to give you a public shout out.
Oh, thanks.
You brought me back. This is actually a holdover from last year's Comic-Con.
Yep.
An IDW Arashikage pin. Fantastic.
I bought myself a Cobra one, and while I was there, I was like, I'm going to buy Joe the
So
Arashikage
good.
one.
Thank you so much for this.
Those were convention exclusives. So.
Oh, my God. They're so great. And you found for me at an estate sale a G.I. Joe sticker page.
Yeah.
And I remember these stickers.
Dude, that's awesome.
They were awesome. It's like it's a white backed sheet, and it's got illustrations of the Joes. like Doc. There's Snow Job on the Polar Battle Bear. There's Snake Eyes, but Snake Eyes isn't painted black. They painted him green. Like he doesn't not wearing gloves. He's got like he looks. It's the weirdest look you've ever seen Snake Eyes in because they miscolored
his
him.
mask is even blue and stuff.
They just miscolored. He's got Roadblock giving like a couple of kids like the, get out of here. Like, curling his arm like, get out of here. I'll kill you. That or he's smelling his armpit.
It could be both.
Yeah, Torpedo swimming down. Doc's getting ready to pronounce Duke dead. Airborne, like rappelling down. You got Hawk, Hawk was not really used much until he became Hawk.
Yeah.
Like when he was just Hawk. When he was lowercase
This
Hawk.
is original comic book design Hawk.
This is original lowercase H.
Yeah.
When he became uppercase H, then people were like, oh, yeah, sure, Hawk.
Yeah.
It's like, no, you got to love Hawk from the start. This is so great. I love this so much.
Stalker's on there too. Don't forget him.
Yeah,
Got to give him old school shout out.
Stalker holding the flag up, and we think we're not sure as of this conversation if it's Grunt or it's one of the early guys.
I'm not sure.
We have to do a little research. He's got the generic dress screens on there, and then of course there's Steeler with the Mobat. This is great. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, man.
Now you found that in estate sale. Did they have any other cool G.I. Joe stuff?
No, that was it.
It's so weird.
They had like other random little toys and stuff on that table.
It's
there
such
was
an
like,
oddity to find, like just something like that with no other supporting evidence.
No. And and there was like McDonald's Happy Meals toys and stuff on that same table, just little stuff. But I saw that, of course, and I was like, all right, I'm got to scoop this up for Mr. Joe.
I appreciate that so much. And
You're welcome, dude.
What a nice surprise. So here we are today. We're going to watch the very first episode. It's called United We Stand.
Yeah.
Did you have a chance to watch it before we got here?
Or I did. Fresh? I did a little, touch up on it just because honestly, when you said, hey, do you want to do the last episode of Dragonfire or do you want to do United We Stand, which is the first of that series run, I was like, let me look and see which one is less stupid, And so I decided to start with this, but I felt like it was okay. I'll just go with this because it was not as offensive as some of the other stuff I remember.
I think this one is fine. I do. I really do. I think it is fine.
It is fine. It's before they go off the rails too
There's
much.
some of the stuff that we'll get into,
of course.
Like some of the characterizations that just are leaning too cartoony for my taste.
Bang! Bang!
Yeah. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But no, I think it's a pretty standard Joe cartoon episode
it feels that way.
With a little moral tale to it. And there's definitely some fun characterizations, and I think I'm ready to get into it. Are you ready, Paul?
Oh, yeah, but real quick, I want to say one thing. Because I'm excited that we're recording this, but then after we're doing a callback to a previous episode of your podcast with your lovely wife, the PSA episode.
During the PSAs, I believe my wife threw a shout out to Paul G to come over to our house and quote fly drones. Well, that's what we're doing today, everybody.
Yep, and she said that I could do it if I had permission from my mom.
And so, what did he show up here today with?
A handwritten note from my mother. Telling Rebecca that I have permission and that I'll be on my best behavior.
He literally had his mom handwrite a note and mail it to him to deliver to us.
She's the best.
That it's okay. Your mom's amazing.
She is. She is.
So great. So great.
This is a good moment to say shout out to Mom. And
shout out to
I love
Mom
you and thank you for putting up with all my nonsense through the years. You too, Dad, and my whole family for that matter.
Oh, my God. If you're listening, you did a great job with this guy. And
thanks, buddy.
Thank you so much for that handwritten note. We were still laughing about it. It is the silliest thing ever. So, Paul.
Yes.
You ready?
Let's do it.
All right, here we go. Everyone, get ready to hit play. And United We Stand, and here we go. Okay, so the biggest difference from the Dragonfire ones, which I know you've listened to a few of the pods, I think, but I don't know if you've watched the cartoon, is this is now the new opening for the second season. So it's like they gave Dragonfire its own special opening.
Yeah.
And then now we get the full-on season 3, I guess, opening with new animation, not Dragonfire animation.
No, this is episodic.
The song different from the Dragonfire song. This is the song that I associate with season 3.
Me too, because I think for Dragonfire for the miniseries, they just used the old theme song but with new animation.
Well, new animation, right? No, but they also substituted it, and it didn't say Real American Hero. It was International Heroes, and they never said the word Cobra.
Oh, that's weird.
So that makes me think that at least the DVDs that we were watching, like we were watching some kind of weird international version instead of one that aired in the States. It just seems weird that they would never say the word Cobra. That's what stood out to me.
Right.
International Hero, I get their brand if they wanted to brand it a little bigger.
Yeah.
So the episode starts with United We Stand, and we have our first Joe introduced here. whose weapon is
Weed whacker.
a weed whacker. Pathfinder, for all you Pathfinder fans out there, congratulations. He's a glorified gardener.
Seriously. Poor man's Wakanda.
Yeah, he is a poor man's Wakanda.
You and I are going to have to cut through this whole jungle on our lonesome.
This is great. This is actually a character moment that I hilarious.
Idiot. What are you doing?
Okay.
Keeping you alive.
So Ambush
This is a surprise attack, not a
ambushes
party
him,
party.
which is really funny to me. Like,
How apropos.
I can imagine they were in the writer's room going, hey, let's have ambush him to introduce Ambush as a character.
Same writer that came up with that was the one that's like, let's have Naugahyde call the Joes Joeys.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, pretty much.
Which I'm not knocking it.
There's
a time and a
I
place.
like the Joeys. Actually,
Speak of the
so
devil.
They were speaking of daddies. There's Naugahyde.
Oh, God.
And here we go with Metalhead.
200. Target locked.
He is a little much for me.
Yeah, I hate him.
He's a little much.
Yeah.
See it burn.
I was describing this series to someone the other day, and I said, he's kind of like the Jar Jar of this series.
Wow, you're not wrong.
Uh-huh.
You're not wrong.
He's loud and annoying, and he messes up stuff by accident,
Yeah, you're absolutely not wrong, and he speaks silly.
Yeah.
He speaks silly. What's the name of this guy, the Might is Right guy?
Salvo, there it is.
And then that's Captain Gridiron.
Gridiron. That's kind of a cool name, though.
Roasted that
I like
joint
that.
for sure.
He wears a football helmet, Paul.
The name. I like the name
He wears
Captain Gridiron.
He's a football player turned G.I. Joe. Come on.
I mean, hey, you know what? Bazooka had a jersey.
No, and you know what?
Between the two of them, they got a full uniform.
Pat Tillman, I get it. I'm not saying football players can't serve in the Army. I get it.
Of course.
But you're right. No, Bazooka, you're right.
No,
you're not wrong. You're not wrong. But at least Bazooka, yeah, he wore the jersey. We actually don't know if he was a professional ball player. Captain Gridiron, I feel like he's not letting it go.
Right, yeah.
He's just holding on too much.
Well, and he holds on all the way through the end of this disc, which you'll get to that episode later, right? He's one of the main
plays
players
football.
in the
it's terrible.
Lord save us
and
from
he
that
wears
episode.
the football helmet too.
I know, right?
Like, do you know that I still have nightmares about wearing my helmet in inappropriate places? And I'm not kidding you. I still, So I don't know if you do. I have very vivid. Are you a dream guy?
A dream guy.
Like, do you have vivid dreams? Do you remember your dreams?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
but no,
some people
that,
aren't. Some people aren't.
Yeah,
some people are like,
no,
I never remember them, and that makes me think that their life is so terrible they don't want to. They don't want to live in it.
They block it out.
They just block it out.
No. I've never had like flashback dreams about like my time playing sports and stuff. It's usually revolving around like dreams. Like I've dreamt that I was like hanging out with Spielberg and Tom Hanks, and we were having a cocktail.
Hey,
and
now.
Tom Hanks introduced me.
Dreams.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And Tom Hanks was like, "Hey, this is Paul. You should meet him."
That's fantastic. And then you put on your, "Hey, Tom Hanks, I just want a Halloween."
Yeah, right. I'm trying to Halloween over here.
I think I have dreams that work out like PTSD moments of my life,
really,
like traumatic stuff, like. When I worked at the restaurant in college, and it was super high stress, like crazy stress.
Yeah.
Like I have nightmares about that.
Wow.
And then I have like football dreams.
Wow.
And not like glory days. It's not like that. It's
Right.
just it's the grueling day to day of it. So it's not like I'm dreaming of I was a lineman. I never carried the ball. It's more of like the severe head trauma.
Right.
And I'm not even kidding you. One of the aspects of it is that I'm always wearing my helmet in inappropriate places. Like I never take it off.
Like you're like going to family dinner, and then you just have your helmet on.
Like we're walking, like I'm walking from practice to wherever, and instead of taking my helmet off like a normal human, I just wear it all the time.
Wow.
And I'm just wearing my helmet all the time.
Well,
and so that's what Captain Gridiron makes me think of is my dream, where he's just wearing his helmet in all the wrong places. You don't need a football helmet on.
Well, maybe the subconscious message here is that our Joe Deep Dish really wants to be Captain Gridiron. I don't know, man.
Maybe Deep Dish. He's a not understudy is not the right word for, but like he's like a lieutenant to Captain.
Yeah, there you
Gridiron.
go. He's his right hand.
Yeah, he's in his division.
Of course, yeah.
I think you're right. I think you're totally right. He reports to Captain Gridiron.
Cobra Commander, the apothecary. All of a sudden, he's like, got this.
Yeah, he's just got this.
Escape? You gotta be kidding.
So they're planning to launch missiles with this gas that mind controls people, and that's how Cobra's going to take over the world. Here's the first little test of it.
We'll take care of the G.I. Joey.
Oh, there's the G.I. Joey.
5 feet.
See, here's the thing. Yeah,
That
heavy
idiot.
metal's about to launch a missile 5 feet away from
Yeah.
That
Not even
is-
realize the blast is going to take them out too.
And like, I liked scrap iron. We never got enough scrap iron.
Scrap
So
iron was
why
cool.
did what did we need heavy metal for? I guess to sell more
Metalhead.
toys. Or metal. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Metal.
yeah.
I keep saying heavy metal. Heavy metal was
He was a Joe.
he was the Joe. He was
Yeah.
the driver of the Joe. You're
Yeah,
right.
Roadblock's cousin. I
Right.
think.
Yeah. So what do we need? What do we need Metalhead for?
Because you said it before, they were targeting a younger audience
Yeah,
this go
there's new
round.
toys.
They did it with the toys,
Yeah.
and they did it with the tone of the show too. And
Yeah,
just
they did.
Eyes up! Cobra Commander's going long!
Captain Gridiron just said Cobra Commander is going long. He's using football references. Shut
I
up.
love that. I mean, yeah, he's got to. He's got to.
Oh,
Look at how he's
God.
dressed.
That's a Battle Force 2000 guy, right?
I don't know.
I think it was, and he was on like a crazy Battle Force sky sled.
Yeah, it looked that way.
Yeah.
I'm shaky with the Battle Force stuff.
Where's he hit? That's just it, sir. There's nothing wrong with
There's
him.
nothing wrong with him.
Still can't get him to wake up.
Oh,
Because he's under Cobra's control.
Pathfinder, G.I. Joe will be right back.
Today's Filecard features on the Cobra Hydrofoil pilot, codenamed Lampreys. File names are unknown. Their primary military specialties are the Hydrofoil pilots, and their secondary military specialties are Cobra Frogmen, the eels. The birthplace came from various countries all over the world, and they're grade E3 or equivalent. The Lampreys are the elite of the Cobra Sea Arm. To qualify for Lamprey training, a candidate must be a Cobra trooper in top physical condition who has completed his eel training. Eels are the frogmen underwater demolition specialists of the Cobra Legion, and has been operational as an eel for more than a year. The training is highly selective, and more than 50% of the applicants wash out before completing the course. Lampreys are a conundrum because they are the drivers of maybe the coolest Cobra vehicle of all time, the Hydrofoil. The Hydrofoil was huge and had all kinds of missiles and depth charges and missile racks that popped up out of the front, and you could raise it up on the skis to truly go like hydroplane. And it was, like a fast attack boat. And they used them in the cartoon all the time. Like, hydrofoils were awesome. Then, look at the Lamprey. And I don't feel like the Lamprey measures up to how cool the hydrofoil was. He's silver and blue. He looks a little bit like when they would make the generic G.I. Joe that you'd get your own file card made up like. Like, I have a feeling that they might have used parts of him for that. He's very generic. He's got a blue life vest on, silver under padding. And that's kind of it. He's got a full face mask. Like most Vipers, they cover up their face so they're not individualized. But there's no detail on the figure at all. Like, it's silver and blue and let's go. And honestly, that may be because he was packaged with a very expensive toy. That might be why he's a little dumbed down. So I was never a big fan of this figure. But his toy is just tops all the time. But, listen, he comes with the hydrofoil. Without the hydrofoil, you don't get the Lamprey. Without the Lamprey, maybe you would have got the hydrofoil. So, Lamprey, Mr. Faceless No-Name Eel, for your boat, we salute you.
Got to get top G.I. Joe!
So now we also, on the DVDs, we now have commercial breaks again. So for my podcast, I can do what we normally do is insert file cards in the commercial breaks. For the Dragonfires, I was running into no commercial breaks, so I was shoehorning them into the middle of conversations that I hadn't planned for. I'd be like, yeah, so Ben, what do you think of, hey, everybody, the file card features, and I'm like, that's terrible podcasting.
Dude, yeah, but you did what you had to do. But it's funny you bring that up because when I was listening to a couple of these new ones, there'd be like, wait, did I just accidentally skip ahead, or was there a glitch in my phone? Did I just, because it just, but
no, but so I'm glad. Thank you, Shot Factory, for including the commercial breaks.
Yes,
because it's going to make my job easier for the rest of these episodes. I was really sweating it. I was like, are all of them going to have no commercial breaks? Am I screwed for the next 60 episodes?
Please, no. That'd have been a long 2018.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
The dynamic between Ambush and Pathfinder in this, do you think it's supposed to be the new substitute for, who was it, Wetsuit and Leatherneck?
Yes.
Right? They totally have that kind of chemistry going on.
Completely that. It's absolutely a replacement for them, and before them, it was Alpine and Bazooka.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
Dude, I forgot. So they were the original ones.
They were the original ones, yeah.
And then Leatherneck
and
and
Leatherneck and
Wetsuit
Wetsuit replaced them in
that,
second
and
season.
now this.
And now these guys are replacing them. You're absolutely right. Now, I would say that Alpine and Bazooka didn't necessarily have the rivalry that Leatherneck and Wetsuit had, and I think these guys are having a rivalry.
Yeah.
But it is still that odd couple kind of two characters that they can bounce off each other. Absolutely.
Although none of these guys have yodeled, so.
Well, that's then they're
oh,
they're
yeah.
Oh,
yes. Big finish.
I believe they just once again drew Lady J. Did I see her in that shot in the booth? Because they had her in the Dragonfire, and she never said anything because they didn't.
Yeah, and she's wearing like this
it's
light blue uniform. It's
weird.
The
outfit's wrong,
the change,
and
everything,
then because
but,
the voice actress didn't come over.
But yeah, oh right, yeah.
And this guy, by the way, Salvo's shirt, "The Right of Might." Let's talk about that problematic shirt for a little minute here.
And sometimes it's so problematic that the animators
They just don't draw it.
the might, or don't draw it.
They write it wrong.
The might sometimes.
The right, the might. That's so funny.
But yeah, right of might.
It's funny because they're being animated in Canada where they speak English.
Exactly.
Like I get it if you're
right?
if you get like an all your base or belong to us because they're over in Japan.
Exactly.
And they don't
It's
get
not Sunbow
it.
anymore.
Oh no. Canada speaks English. Although maybe no, you know what? It was in French, like Quebec. They were. I think. Well, at least they had their roots in a French company.
Right, and so maybe it was. Still
so maybe
that.
they were like French speakers.
That's a good point.
Oh man, look at us blowing the lid off.
That's a very good point.
The right of might.
Or maybe they were just doing it cheap.
Doing it cheap. I think that's the answer.
Read you loud and clear, Rampart. Over and out.
I want to say that Ambush
What do you say?
and Nagahide compared notes on their mustache.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Maybe they'd spot us, but I doubt they'd notice
Weed
our
Whacker
sisters.
guy, Pathfinder, stole Doc's glasses, and this is hilarious.
Oh man.
They dress like women, nurses, to escape the
Think of it
hospital.
as camouflage.
See, and this is
Not since the Cobra that got away
Oh,
have we seen Joe's dress and drag so
Shipwreck and
effectively.
Snake Eyes.
Yes, have we seen Joe's dress drag so effectively
that they
as
fool
to
their
completely fool everybody.
Yes.
Well, no. You
Oh my god. It's
They're sleeping, Captain.
it's stuff like this that I remember, like I was saying earlier, like it's just ridiculous and it's worth a chuckle. But when this series came out when I was a kid, I was still young enough to kind of enjoy
Yeah.
it. Like I ate this up. It was ha 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 ha. How funny.
I remember such a fine young officer as yourself.
Well, okay,
He's
they
got
just-
fake eyelashes.
I was just gonna say those were female eyes.
Yes.
Those were not man's eyes.
No
No way. And I just want to say, Gridiron, I think was flirting.
Oh, absolutely.
Was flirting with.
He was
I don't know if that was Pathfinder or Ambush, whichever one that was. He was kind of throwing a flirt his way.
absolutely.
Oh, no, I think that was Ambush. Yeah, because Pathfinder had the glasses. Yeah.
Yeah.
I bet that Cobra Flyboy thought
Here's the most unbelievable part of the show. I think they were on a scooter,
Yeah.
and they were two grown men on a scooter. I have a scooter. You ain't moving that fast.
No, not that
You
fast.
ain't outrunning no Cobra Jet on a scooter with two grown muscle men.
Yeah,
That's not a thing.
It's ridiculous. But I hate that moment of stupidity with Cobra Commander 2 where they're just like, he's like, "You idiot, those are two nurses." You know, abandoned mission. You know, whatever.
Yeah.
Like,
Meanwhile,
oh my god.
Meanwhile, in my world, I'm a world class terrorist. I'm just going to kill the nurses too.
Right? You know,
I'm just going to kill everybody.
They gotta go.
I mean,
gotta go.
half their schemes are about destroying the world anyway, right? So like
Right.
the world, people are going to die.
It's
So,
gonna happen.
If I think they might be Joe's, we're just going to kill them. I'm like,
Right?
the,
Don't take the chance.
Isn't Pablo Escobar who did that, where he like famously blew up an entire plane of people to get one dude?
I think so.
Like a commercial airliner of completely innocent
I
people.
think it was, yeah.
And he had one dude on the plane, and he blew up the whole plane. That would be me. It's Cobra Commander. It's a good thing Deep Dish is a
You
good
are
guy.
ruthless.
Well, I'm saying I got.
Yeah.
I'm going to take over the world anyway.
yeah,
Just, you know,
it is a
gotta-
good thing Deep Dish is on the Joe
Yeah,
side because
yeah.
the SAC doesn't even think that
No,
way, man. Wow.
Well, SAC thinks it's here's the thing. The SAC is always looking out for Cobra Commander's best interest.
That's
And
right.
it's not in his best interest to be murdering fools.
This is
just,
true.
Just left and right. It's not a good thing.
Not a good thing at all.
No. So the SAC would be like,
Cobra Commander.
Mr. Commander,
Just wanted to let you know.
just can I bend your ear
Yeah.
before you pull the trigger? A moment, please.
Yeah.
A moment.
Have you
Before-
considered this?
Yeah, before you tweet. A moment.
Right.
Yeah.
See, that's why I'm so good as the SAC, because I'm a Libra, so I weigh both sides, the options,
Oh,
the balance,
yeah.
you know?
Oh, yeah.
Cobra Commander needs that. He's impulsive.
Absolutely. I will give them big props because his costume
Yeah.
is a nightmare of a design. And,
And
I don't mean that in a negative way. I mean
But
that
for animators.
For animators,
Yeah.
yeah. He's got so many angles and sharp protruding things.
Yep.
And different styles of textures, and you know
Yep.
what I mean. Like there is so much popping off his costume, and it looks really good on the show.
Yeah, they kept that on point.
Yeah.
Which
Like
surprisingly,
there's so many little intricate things from the gun belt to the little hose on the side,
Yep.
the little Cobra logo,
Yep.
the shoulder pads, the arm pieces, the cut on the arm pieces. All of it really goes into a tricky design. You know what it's reminiscent of? Like a Walter Simonson design. I'm not sure
I'm
I'm
not
familiar with.
them.
Yeah, he's known for his Thor stuff. But you ever see the horse Thor called Beta Ray Bill?
No.
Well, he is got a complicated out. Like there's the original design. Like there's all kinds of like circles and cuts and everything into the
patterns. All kinds of stuff.
yeah. And he also designed the original Archangel.
Oh, cool, yeah.
And so you know what Archangel looks like,
Yeah,
right?
he was the one. He's like a blue suit with red lines and
right,
stuff.
and all the lines and everything.
Yeah.
Specifically, there was an interview where Simonson said, like, if I had known he was going to be that popular and we'd have to draw him so much, I would not have designed him that intricately, you know? His Manhunter suit from the 70s, the Detective Comics Manhunter. I know, I love Simonson. It's my favorite of all time. It's like he designed Cobra Commander's uniform. Trust me on this. It is so, like, crazy design, jagged.
I'll have to look
not
that up.
Conducive to smooth animation.
You know what though? What is cool about this is I've been reading the comics and like I thought this interesting because I never read the comics as a kid. It was a little before my time, and so I got into them as an adult. And now as I'm reading through, I'm like, oh whoa! So that crazy armored Cobra Commander design that they had an action figure of and that was on the Deke series. That comes from the comics. Like, that was a storyline. And that's the same time Destro went gold. So it all links up, which is kind of interesting.
It's a credit to Hasbro, because Hasbro was going to the cartoon guys
Yeah.
and to Larry Hama and saying, here's the new toys. You need to work them in. Like Hama worked in Battle Force 2000, and he hated them.
Yeah.
And then he promptly killed them off like 20 issues later or something. He did one issue with them, and they were there.
Dang it, man. I'm not sure if I've read that yet.
Oh, well, spoiler alert.
That's all right.
A 20-year-old spoiler.
I know, right?
Yeah. I want to say it was around they were introduced around like issue 80-something, and fast forward to like issue 100 or something, and they wanted to make an impact, and he killed off like all of Battle Force.
Yeah, I think I'm in the 80s right now, actually.
But they wanted him on the show, so we found out in the cartoon. Comic book, so they found a way to use him,
Yeah. Talented man.
Yeah. So we've got Ambush and
Pathfinder.
I want to call him a Lightfoot, because it wasn't Lightfoot. Wasn't that a Joe? Was there a Joe called Lightfoot?
I don't think so. Maybe you're thinking Lifeline?
No,
because of those glasses.
G.I. Joe. This is Stretcher. G.I. Joe will be right back.
Hey listeners, I'm not sure if you've heard the news, but Joe and Joe has started a Patreon, and I'm inviting you along for the ride. Go to patreon.com/JoeandJoePod and check out my page. Right now, there are 2 opportunities for you to help support the show. You can choose to be a Grunt or a Viper. Grunts get access to all the Joe and Joe episodes and early access to new episodes as they're created. Vipers get all that and access to my all-new spin-off podcast, Joe and Joe Illustrated, where I will be breaking down every single issue of the G.I. Joe comic books, page by page, in the deepest dive you'll ever hear on G.I. Joe. So go to patreon.com/JoeandJoePod and see what's happening over at the Fort Wadsworth Motor Pool. We'll see you there.
Got to get top G.I. Joe.
Ambush is about to get ambushed by Salvo. Pathfinder knocks it. Of course, a missile doesn't even. I mean, it's a missile, everybody.
It was like a smoke bomb.
And you know what's funny? Watching this show when I was a kid made me think that missiles, yes, I know on ground things, they impact and they explode.
Right.
But like in airplanes, they don't. They get close and they blow up and they throw shrapnel. That's kind of how missiles work, is my understanding, as an adult.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So that's the difference between a missile and a torpedo.
Yeah. But like in the air, when airplanes are flying, the missile gets close and then it detonates. Right? Because
I don't know.
I believe so. So have the missile actually try to impact a plane at that speed.
That's
really
almost
freaking hard.
Exactly. Yeah. But good point.
Watching these shows, it made me think that all missiles have to like
impact
hit something.
Right.
And I'm always like, couldn't you dodge it?
Yeah, like there's same technology that they use on a mine where there's like a little trigger that has to be activated and when the no I thought that too, to be honest.
Yeah. Now of course, like when they talk about like bunker buster, I mean actual missiles that hit the ground detonate. Of course they.
Yeah.
But it's
different types.
It's funny how you just
Lady J again. You were right.
Yeah. Your brain just goes into different places with understanding how physics work.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean,
just everything works because of cartoons.
It was
like
a lot of it's how we learn.
Because of Star Wars and frankly Thunder the Barbarian, who also used like lightsabers. I was convinced that you could make a lightsaber. I was, as a child, I was like, oh yeah, well you just get the light to bend at about 3 feet. You just set a series of. Here was my big plan. You actually have a 3-foot long mirror that would be on a collapsible string. So as the light forced it upwards, it would stop at 3 feet and then bounce back and forth between the two lights.
You put a lot of thought into that.
I did, and that's how I thought you would stop light, by having a little tip, a little mirrored tip at the end of a lightsaber.
That's logical. That's sound logic for a kid.
I needed to make it work in my head. I needed to make it work.
I never went past just grabbing one of Dad's flashlights out of the garage and being like, that was good enough for me.
Okay. Yes, he was trying to kill Joe's metalhead, but he shot a missile at his Cobra Commander.
Exactly. And Cobra Commander says, "No."
Yeah, I feel like that's ill-advised.
Very much so.
Very much so. So yeah, where in the Sunbow stuff, they had a lot of women and always featured women in a prominent role.
Absolutely.
This one, they don't even give her a line.
No
Baroness.
She's there. No talking. No nothing.
So we're off to a bad start in female representation.
Baroness does pop up quite a bit later, though.
Yeah, she does.
He may be an idiot.
I do think that, and it's not necessarily relevant to this episode, but as long as you're here, I think you're a good man to talk about this. I think they did a character assassination on Zorana.
Okay.
I think Zorana was built up to be such a strong character at the second season that when they got here and they just used her as like a bimbo foil for Destro in the Dragonfire, and then wrote her out. And she may come back in these later ones, but
I don't remember.
She was just. I think it's a shame because she was great in that second season.
She was
she was
character.
always a much more than like Xandar. Xandar was garbage.
Yeah.
Xandar, they didn't give anything good to do. Zorana was amazing.
She had a prominent role in the movie too.
Yes, she did.
Like she was with Falcon and everything. It was
and now she, in at least so far, she gets relegated to like. Is Zartan even in this?
No, Zartan never.
Yeah, that's weird because Naugahyde. Okay, look at that helicopter go through a hole in the wall.
I know, right? That's good navigating.
Naugahyde's a dreadnought, but the dreadnoughts aren't on this show.
No,
but Naugahyde's a dreadnought.
Yeah, it's bizarre.
It's so crazy.
If I'm not mistaken, Gov, you just blew $50 billion.
$50 billion.
Wow, that's a lot.
That's how much this operation cost.
This operation is costing us dearly.
Oh my God!
His line from the movie. This is where he should have said it.
These two are about to kiss.
And the tension.
I'm not even fooling.
Oh, the tension.
Look at that football helmet. Stop it with the football helmet.
It's the happy medium between a football helmet and a military helmet.
Right.
That's exactly what he's come up with.
It is. It totally is. Because it's not even a good looking. It's like flat. It looks like a bucket on his head.
Absolutely.
Literally a bucket. Like Ambush's helmet's fine. It looks fine. That is a bucket on that man's head with a face mask.
It really is.
You say, sir?
Unacceptable.
No more blonde wigs, Pathfinder.
That's
Yes,
hilarious.
Now he's figured it out.
That's hilarious. And they put their arms. See, I think they're a couple.
Well, you know what,
Paul?
It's this is about the right time for Don't Ask, Don't Tell, right?
I think it's fantastic.
The policy.
I think it's fantastic.
Maybe they're addressing it on G.I. Joe.
And the G.I. Joe CGI. There's a CGI G.I. Joe on it.
Yeah,
I want to say the only CGI
different.
and animation on this whole show. I don't remember any other CGI elements.
I don't either.
Yeah.
As the sack though, before we get too far away from this, I have to say, I do not appreciate the way Naugahyde spoke to Cobra Commander at the end there. You know,
disrespectful.
You can't say that to him. He's like
completely disrespectful.
Pardon me, Governor, but I wouldn't call it a victory. Like Destro can get away with that.
Right.
Baroness,
Serpentor,
the Crimson
of
Twin,
course.
Serpentor, yeah,
even Mindbender.
Mindbender, right? Those Major Blood, even I'll give. They can get away with a little, maybe.
I don't know about Blood,
but more so than Naugahyde.
Oh, definitely more than
like,
Naugahyde.
Come on,
yeah, definitely more than Naugahyde. Zartan maybe because I always thought that Cobra Commander was a little bit afraid of Zartan. Yeah, I always thought he knew like Zartan was like crazy.
Yeah,
like homicidal. Like I will murder you, and they will never find the body. Because it's going to be in my dungeon, which no one's ever found. Like that kind of.
Oh, you're absolutely right. That's why he was like so ready and willing to always just throw more money at him.
Yeah.
Okay,
always,
whatever you say. Here's more money.
I know it didn't work the last 5 times we hired you. Here's more money.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I think he didn't. Yeah, he would have taken that from Zartan for sure. Well, that's it, Paul. You know how to be Stan, man. That was so great,
dude. It always goes by so fast.
Always. It's fun. It's a fun episode.
It is fun.
It is fun. You know, we're
that one.
We're having a good time with it and knocking down some of the silly stuff we see. But that was a pretty good episode. You know,
yeah, not bad.
You got a guy get mind controlled and they have to stop him and they have to use teamwork to stop him.
Yep.
Totally cool. Football helmet, leave it at home.
Yeah, right. Yeah, rethink that one, buddy. I'm just glad you didn't ask me for Granny Dearest. Oh boy.
Well, listen.
Do the wheels come off there?
Remember to go look at my boy Paul Galliano. He's at the Paul G on Twitter and Instagram. Find him on the Amazon show Now What? Season 2 is dropping on the 2nd of March. Season 1 is already available, been available for a while.
Yep.
You can also check out Falling for Angels, which is the spin-off show. And send him some love. Paul,
thank you.
Always a pleasure.
Likewise, buddy. Thanks
my
so much
friend,
for having
thank
me.
you so much for being back on Joe. And now you Joe. And Joeing is half the battle.